From Anoka High School, the inaugural high school boys volleyball season is at its midway point. And here tonight we have a regular season conference matchup between the Blaine Bengals and the Anoka Tornadoes, two teams that have played already this season. That was in a tournament at Osseo. This one, of course, is for Northwest Suburban Conference bragging rights, along with Joe Rulin. I'm Jim Erickson, and for both of us, this is our first ever boys volleyball match. I have broadcast radio, television, hundreds of girls volleyball matches. This will be the first boys one. I'm really looking forward to it, Joe.
Oh, I'll tell you, some great action, great energy on that court, even in the pregame. As we walked around, some serious lift on these athletes on the court. Excited to watch this. Blaine comes into the mark of 7-3. Meanwhile, for Anoka, 9-1 and ranked number 10 in Class A.
Yeah, so both of these teams are off to a good start in their first ever season of boys high school volleyball. Total of 77 teams in Minnesota. High schools with boys volleyball teams to start out, and I would expect that would only grow as the sport grows as well. Blaine in their blue, and they're ready to serve it off right to left. A.J. Ratchek with the first serve, and it's in. It's an ace, and the Bengals, who won the JV match earlier here this evening and afternoon, take a 1-0 lead. Oh, they didn't. I saw him point to the ground, so it's out of bounds. So it's Anoka getting on the board first. And Elka B will get an ace.
Look at that. Got a little good top spin on there, trying to get the technique down, but unable to convert their Blaine. An early one.
2-0 Anoka here, so B will serve it again. Comes to the middle, played to the back row. Brower, free ball up and over Yang. It'll be the Tornadoes setting up. Left-hand swing, Lindbergh. And it's in the net. Blaine point, 2-1. That'll side it out. Ratchek, who started the match with the opening serve. Flag went down. Linesman said it was in, and then the up referee, who was at the net, called it out. 2-1 our score. Blaine serving. It's up and over by Masanguda, and that one is out. A little bit long for Masanguda, a senior. And that ties us at 2, just underway in the first set if you're joining us here on QCTV Sports.
Certainly some players up front for Blaine here who can kill.
Anderson set. There's the drive by Hank Anderson on the left outside. And that's down 3-2 Anoka. And they'll get the serve back, and back to serve is Youngquist.
Hank got on top of that ball and delivered some power.
So the service, Youngquist to the back row, passed ahead. Calvin Buffo is up from the JV. Big block at the net by Carter Lean. He's the middle hitter for the Tornadoes. Back over free ball. Back set. Now they'll set up Masnaguda. Nice little tip up and over the block. That's Mark Masnaguda. Power on that left side. And Blaine was ready for power, and instead he dinked and dunked him with a little changeup.
He found that opening, the gap right there.
Youngquist serving, 4-2 Anoka. Cross set. Anders Larson finds a hole there for the Blaine Bengals, and it's 4-3. And that will side it out, and Anders Larson will go back. Number 15, and a junior ready to serve here for Blaine.
Yeah, 51 kills on the season. It's good enough for 14th in the state.
Jump serve, and it's a good one. Back here to the near side. Left-hand swing by Lindbergh off a tip, and it lands in for a point. Tornadoes add to their lead, and they'll get the serve back. Blaine's head coach is Sam Christofferson. Of course, all the head coaches in boys volleyball in their first years.
Yes.
Sam was an Osseo athlete, baseball and volleyball as I remember, and played some baseball at St. Scholastica. And Olivia Wolbert is the head coach of the Anoka Tornadoes, a graduate of Malacca High School, and played some volleyball at Minnesota State Mankato as well. Here's the short serve, comes back free ball on the Blaine side, And a junk ball up high. They go up and drop it down. Kevin Yang. It's 5-4 Bengal ball.
Yeah, Skylar Lohr with a pretty good serve, tight on top of that net, but a nice dig, controlled and put away by Blaine.
Danian Vang serving. Back set. Masna Guda powers it off the block and down. Well, you can see the power at the net here for Anoka starts with Mark Masnaguda. He likes to attack.
Yeah, you know, he represents his name well. His name looks like Masnaguda, doesn't it?
Yes.
Pretty physical and athletic. A senior, also 5'11".
My body looks like just Gouda. Block of cheese. Here's that jump serve, top spin. Pretty impressive. It's an ace. 7-4 Tornadoes.
Well, he leads the team in that category. Does Masnaguda. And you can see why. Some good movement on that ball. And on top of it with that serve. Wow.
To the net, and that power tip directed down. Racek gets the points for the Bengals on a very good serve receive on those serves from Masnaguda. That was textbook.
Yep. A.J. Racek, some good quick springs that time.
Bengals serving, kicked around here. It'll be over free ball. Joshua Londa Sasa off the bench now. Near side, big swing and down. Brower kills it for the Bengals. We got a tight first set here.
Yeah, Brower second on the team in kills. You can see he loaded up for that one and dotted just inside the end line. 39 now kills on the season.
Kingston Yang serving it, directed in by London Sasa. Maston Guda powered off the block and in the trash. And that trash wouldn't have been there, Joe, if you hadn't knocked it down. That trash bucket was halfway up the bleachers. Joe knocked it down the steps. It wouldn't have been there for that little bit. I hope we got that on video.
Strategically placed. Oh, that was too funny.
Masnaguda, another kill. It's 8-6 Anoka, and there is an ace serve on the back line. 9-6 Tornadoes, and Chewy Vang will go back and serve again.
Excellent serve that time. It comes at that spot where you're like, should I let it go? Or does it have the top spin to get down? That time it did.
Vang serve to the net, over on one. Dug out nicely by Brower. To the middle, to the back, to the attack line. Jong knocks over the Bengals. Now here's a chance. Tip up and down. Noah Youngquist hit it where they ain't. Blaine was ready for something a little more velocity-wise, and that one was tipped right in that open soft spot. 10-6 Anoka.
Racek and Brower that time went for the block. Very well placed by the Tornadoes.
Another serve here by Vang. Goes to the far side. Jump set. Yang for Bengals. Comes back to Kingston Yang. Libero Vang back here near side. Jong. Now the set. Left side London Sasa ends up going long. He wants to get a tip. He won't get it. They were calling for a tip, but it's out of bounds. Blaine side out in point. They're down 10-7.
Good pace by both teams. A 3-point lead for Anoka, Ben. Brower with the serve for Blaine.
Cooper Brower Jr. from the middle. Jump serve off the top of the net and down. They'll get the point. That's an ace using that top cord. And if you're wondering, maybe this is the first boys volleyball match you've watched. Yes, the boys' nets are higher than the girls' nets by 7.5 inches. So that is one of the few differences. The ball also is vastly different. Joshua Londa Sasa up and over free ball. They'll be set back here near side for Larson. Dug out, but unrecoverable there by the Tornadoes. Goes out of bounds. We got a 1-point game.
Anders Larson again 53 kills on the season. Continues to up those numbers.
Serving Cooper Brower. Jump serve, slaps it over to Lunda Sasa in the middle, and it's down. That's Noah Youngquist, good size in the middle, hammers it to the near side back quarter, 11-9 Anoka. So the ball itself, same size, might be a little smaller, but it's smaller because the surface it's a different texture, it's a different surface material, and the panels are different than a girls' volleyball as well. So basically the net and the ball, two of the big differences. between girls volleyball in the fall and the boys volleyball here in their first ever season in the spring. And that's going to be a point. Anoka as that drive on the right side is off the antenna. 12-9 Tornadoes.
Getting another run here is Hank on the serve. Again, the Tornadoes. An impressive start this season at 9-1.
Team captain Hank Anderson ready to deliver. Pushed ahead Brower. Back set. Little off the mark there by Yang, and that's outside the antenna again. And Bengals a little bit out of sorts in their rotations and in their serve receive, getting it to their setter. Actually, they got it to the setter that time, and the set was off. 13-9 Anoka. They'll go back to serve it again with Hank Anderson, senior, ready to go. All the players pretty much implementing the jump serve. Rocek in the middle. 4 hits down on his side, and the Bengals are going to call a timeout. Coach Sam Christofferson will call a timeout. 14-9 in favor of Anoka here in set number 1 from the Anoka Fieldhouse, Anoka High School. Lots of activity. Looked like baseball, softball, and tennis, just some of the things that were going on here this evening at Anoka High School. Joe.
Yeah, typically we aren't in the gym at this time of the season, so it was refreshing to see a little tennis outside where we parked, or at least where I parked. And then I caught an ending of the Anoka Tornadoes baseball game as they were taking on Monticello, had a 1-0 lead in the first when I departed.
Talked about both of these coaches, Olivia Wolbert from Anoka and Blaine head coach Sam Christofferson. Both coaches served as assistants with the girls' teams at their respective schools this past fall. Now, Sam has told us that because he has a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, he's not going to be the girls' assistant anymore, so he's going to focus just on boys' head volleyball. I believe Olivia Wolbert will be back next year under Chris Fenwick. And, of course, the girls' team for Anoka, state tournament last year, defending section champions.
Yeah, it's, maybe some dual teams here for Anoka, just like the boys' basketball team making it to the state.
Hank Anderson, here's the serve, a little short lollipop rainbow serve in front of the attack line. Pushed ahead by Vang, the tip, teeters on the top of the net by Zhang. Back to the Tornadoes, back row attack, tipped over Musanguda. Near side, right-hand swing, dug out, Musnaguda, that's going to be off the basketball backboard. Tough to respond and tough to react and adjust, and it does fall in. 14-10 Anoka side out to the Bengals.
Yeah, the Chewy Vang, the Lombero, I got it. I should have had that. A tough play. It almost went in and almost went off the backboard.
If you're a libero, you think you should get to everyone. You're like a goalie. You think you should block every shot, stop every shot. There's a big drive and a kill for Anders Larson for the Tornadoes.
Oh, Larson locked in and pounded that kill. Whoa. Right down the sideline, and beautiful job.
Rocek, the senior, AJ ready to serve it away here. Blaine within 3. Set 1. And it's
Good
in.
Place.
Londa Sasa let it go. He rolled the dice, thought it might be out, but the ace right on the near side stripe.
It's so funny when Rocek served at the first point of the game. It looked in. The scoreboard put the 1 point up, and everyone else had called it out. So maybe he avenged it right there, shall we say?
14-12 Anoka serving in as Rocek to the net, having to scramble. Anderson, back row drive. Masnaguda. Set near side, chance for Larson again. Tipped over. Masnaguda, back row attack, and he finds with that top spin. He drives it down just inside the back line.
That couldn't have been placed any better. Right in that corner, got that top spin elevated. And wow, what a power play that was. So, serve and a 3-point lead here for the Tornadoes.
You know, you're probably asking yourself, this is your first boys volleyball match. Is the serve left to right? B, steering it back in the middle, Zhang from the back row drive, Brower. Tipped over on 2 by Youngquist, comes back to the Bengals. Set near side, Larson. Dug out to the net. It was hanging and dangling, and it's two-hand dunked by Kevin Yang. And it'll be a point here for the Bengals. You go, boy, some of these guys look like they've been playing volleyball for years. Some of them have, because we've had club teams.
Right.
Some people may not be aware. There were club teams, non-state high school league sanctioned leagues and games, and they even had a state tournament. And these teams and some of these players have been playing for a while. There's a tip and it's a point down again for the Tornadoes. Their lead is at 16-13.
Nice little subtle move there by Youngquist. Elevated and just promptly placed it into an open gap.
Noah Youngquist ready to go. Back row out by about a width of the ball that just missed. So a service error, point inside out to the Bengals. They'll be serving 14-16.
Yeah, you know, if you are in need of caffeine later in the night, come to one of these matches.
Larson serve in the net.
Instant energy. Exciting to watch. And man, there is some top speed exchanges going on here.
Boys' net is just under 8 feet, 7 feet 11 and 5/8 inches. The girls' nets are 7 feet 4 and 1/8 inches.
Lohr has that off-speed serve.
Here is the Skylar Lohr serve. Drops down, having to reach for it is Larson. Back near side up, Brower. And it's tipped, goes into the Anoka bench. Point for the Bengals. 17-15 Anoka, and Blaine will send their libero back to serve Danian Vang.
I would not want to be a linesman on that court. Too fast, such a keen eye.
Scrambling, keeping it alive was Lohr. Tipped over then Masnaguda. Back row drive, dug out, comes back over on one. Battle above the net, comes back to the Bengals. Played there by Buffo. Two-hand tip, Rocek back to the Bengals. Masnaguda block, big block by Cooper Brower. Power versus power there, and it was tipped. And the point here goes to the Bengals, and Vang, and a nice run here. They've got it to within one, 17-16 Anoka.
What an excellent block. Denied.
Overhand pass B. Set, middle, high, lean. Block back to the Tornadoes. Back set Masnaguda. Power tip. And he finds the back row, and it's not going to matter. Bengals had a player in the net. Point to Anoka regardless. They end that Blaine run and are leading at 18-16.
Yep, found an alley and got the right spot. But here we go. I'm waiting for
Here's
this
that
serve.
Masnaguda jump serve. Here it comes again. Dug out, played up on the pass, but it goes over on one. Bengals a chance, set up Masnaguda from the back row, and he finds the open spot here to the near side. When he's able to pick his spot, back row, front row, I don't think it matters. He's hard to stop.
Yeah, some people have a dance move or whatever song. This is the Masnaguda. The serve is called the Masnaguda.
Scoring same as girls, 25. Best 3 out of 5, and that's going to be an ace. Off the serve receive. Buffo tried to pass it to the setter, but it was off his arm. 20-16. Anoka responding up by 4, matching their largest lead of this first set.
2 straight service points here for Masnaguda. He generates a lot of topspin and velo.
Yeah, and that topspin, it just drops, and there's another ace. Where did you say he's ranking in the state in aces?
He's number 1 on the team.
Number 1 for Anoka.
And as you mentioned, Jim, it's tough to tell. I looked at all the state rankings today on each category. It depends on who's reporting and what, but he certainly is tops on this Anoka team, and that's quite obvious. And ranking in the top, 20 in the state for kills. They had Brower with now he has 41. He was 20th coming into this match, and Anders Larson was 14th in the state, and he now has 54 already here in the first set.
So the Bengals call their timeout here. 21-16 Anoka.
Only loss this year for the Tornadoes came against Maple Grove.
And one of the 3 losses for Blaine did come against Anoka at the Osseo Invitational a couple of Saturdays ago. April 5th was 2-1 Anoka, 25-19, 23-25, and 15-10. Masnaguda, net serve this time. Came up a little bit short, little low. 21-17 for Anoka. And we'll go back to the Bengals here. Serving will be Kingston Yang.
Maybe a little strategy there by Coach Christofferson to kind of stop the momentum.
Yeah, it's like freezing the kicker. You've got which makes total sense in that instance. So a violation here. That'll give it back to Blaine. They get a point. I can imagine that was a rotation. 21-18. Yeah, it's just like icing the kicker in football. You got a server that's hot on a run of aces. Call a timeout to cool him off. There's a tip up and over Rodcheck. Found a soft middle. And here come the Bengals back to within 2, 21-19.
2 straight service points by Anoka. Now 2 straight here for Blaine.
Kingston Yang, Vang for the Tornadoes. Londa Sasa goes long. And Bengals chipping away. Their JV team was down in the second set. Looked like they were going to lose in straight sets. Ended up winning the second set, then won the third set. Won the JV match earlier here tonight. And we're going to get a timeout. Anoka. Who called the timeout?
No timeout.
So we have a stoppage. Both teams jumped off the bench like somebody had called a timeout. So Anoka will be awarded the timeout. So there was a really good article back in March in the ABC newspaper's hometown source about the scrimmage that was held here at Anoka High School. They had 18 teams here, teams from throughout the area. It was the first year of boys volleyball, and Lance Wicks was here, and he was here early in the morning doing what he does. Lance is at all these events pretty much. I don't know if I've ever been to a Anoka game that he hasn't been to, but they did the story about how for many of these players, they even in March of this year, they needed to learn the rules. They needed to know how the rotation was. They need to know about the net. They need to know all about this stuff. Same thing with the officials. They've been training in new officials for the boys volleyball season here as well. So there will be growing pains in the first ever season of boys volleyball when it comes to officials and players and just how the game is structured. And it was a really interesting newspaper article about that, and a lot of excitement about this Anoka team. That's going to be an ace as the Tornadoes cannot return that serve, and a good run here by Kingston Yang. And that ties us at 21. Yang again. Jump serve to the back row, and it misses. Service error there. That ends Yang's nice little run here. Gets Anoka within 3 here of the match, 22-21.
Yeah, you know what? If I was on that back line, I probably would have stepped up and hit it. The velo, how quickly you need to react.
Senior Chewy Vang. Here's his serve. It's a floater. Played up to the net by Vang. Directed in the middle, up and over Brower. Nice save there, but they can't keep it alive. The diving attempt by Laurie kept it alive, but then because he dove, he was actually in the way of Anderson, who was trying to get to the ball, and we're tied at 22.
I think that was Brower who made contact, and they put a nice strike on the ball that time. Not a hard one, but located extremely well.
Brower serving in the middle. That's off a tip and a kill. Feeding their middle hitter, Noah Youngquist, one of the team captains. You got to worry about Youngquist and Maznaguda when you're trying to defend the Anoka Tornadoes.
You certainly do. Where are they at? They like to float, and can they strike the ball as well? But Blaine here matching them up. A 1-point lead for Anoka and the serve.
Hank Anderson serving. Set right back, give and go to Larson, and that's down for a point. Nice diving attempt by Maznaguda. Tied at 23.
I wasn't sure if that was tipped initially up front. Do you know if it was? If that's why he went to save. Otherwise, it looked like it was going to find its way out of bounds.
Tied at 23. Rodcheck serving. Little top spin on that. Vang set Anderson to the near side. Lunda Sasa tipped off the block. Bengals set up. They'll have to force it over free ball. Vang set Anderson to the left side. There's a left-hand drive, but it's played by the Bengals. They keep it alive from beyond the attack line by Brower, and it hit the antenna. It's going to be Anoka ball. Ball out of bounds, and it is set point, 24-23 Tornadoes. They'll substitute. Joshua London Sasa steps off the court to the bench, and coming in, Elka B. He's their serving specialist. Started the game serving. And he will try to end the set here, game and set one here of this match. Angles it here near side. Give and go again to Larson from the center, down the line. He hit the line. And that keeps the Bengals with Anders Larson driving it off the line, keeps him alive here, ties it at 24.
Tough one. Tough one. He brought the hammer again and evens it up at 24.
Calvin Buffo, his serve. Vang, set Anderson. There's the big guy, and he kills it. Masanguda, that overhand pass attempt by the libero Vang, just could not get it up into the air, and Anoka again at set point. Youngquist slaps it over. That's off the arm of Vang, and that's out of bounds. Point and set to Anoka. Tornadoes win set one, 26-24. Bengals and Tornadoes set number 2 coming up when we return on QCTV Sports. Tornadoes win set one, 26-24. Bengals and Tornadoes set number.
Hi, I'm Jeff Johnson, the Executive Director at Can Do Canines, where we raise and train assistance dogs to transform people's lives. Our dogs fetch more than just toys. Trained with special skills, these dogs fetch freedom and independence and peace of mind for people with disabilities or at facilities that can benefit from the dogs. Our dogs choose from 6 different types of careers. They can help people who have mobility challenges, hearing loss or deafness, seizure disorders, type 1 diabetes, or childhood autism, or at facilities such as hospitals or community service providers. Since 1989, we've created over 900 mutually beneficial partnerships between these specially trained dogs and people. We place all of our dogs free of charge, thanks to generous supporters, and our mission is only possible due to the care and love that hundreds of volunteers offer by opening their homes to our dogs. Some of the people who help raise and train our dogs are inmates at prisons throughout Minnesota and Wisconsin that partner with us. Each dog stays for months at a time, sharing a cell with their inmate handler, who spends time developing some of the skills our dogs need for their future person. I invite you to check out our website, candocanines.org, for more information or to see when one of our upcoming open houses is happening. We and our amazing dogs hope to meet you soon.
Anoka Fieldhouse here on an April evening, April 20th, 21st. Happy Easter, everybody. Hope we had a happy Easter yesterday. And now here we are Monday night volleyball action. And the Anoka Tornadoes, very tight, very competitive first set. They end up winning at 26-24 to take that all-important 1-0 lead here in the match.
Yeah, but you saw a good blend of contributing that first set for Anoka, as well as you saw a chance there with Racek and Larson and Brower all playing a role and almost capturing that first set for the Bengals. But they'll reset here. And again, great energy and great to see this athleticism just explode.
There was great energy in the JV match earlier here tonight. As we mentioned before, that was won by the Blaine Bengals. They won that one 2-1.
Yeah, it's almost like batteries included when you come here, and the energy just always comes with it.
And the boys also have, we've done a lot of girls volleyball matches in the fall here in QCTV. The boys have come up with some different chants and things. When the other team calls a timeout and you're on a run, they've got a chant and so forth. It's kind of fun. So here we go. Anoka will serve. It'll be Hank Anderson delivering that left to right serve. That was one of the things that they had to teach the guys at that scrimmage. Some of the new players, you have to wait for the whistle. They were serving the ball before the official up top on the podium gave them the whistle. So that's something they had to learn. It's been a learning process. But the start of a new era here in the state of Minnesota. Tip up high, dug out nicely. What a dig by Lindbergh, kept alive, and it's up and over by B. Back to the Bengals. Backside on the right side. Cross-court drive is out of bounds. A little bit too wide there. Out of bounds off of Shasha Zhang, and that will give it here to the Tornadoes 1-0.
Yep, Zhang that time just got under it just a bit, and it lifted beyond the line.
That's one of the hardest attacks, though, in any level of volleyball. That cross court from the right side or left side, and you're trying to knock it inside of the attack line, the 10-foot line, and your angle has to be perfect. You have to have high elevation, and then your downward strike has to be the point where you don't have a whole lot to work with. So it's tied at 1. Bengals serve it up in the middle. Big swing block. Lindbergh is denied. Big man in the middle, Kevin Yang.
Buffo gets the point on that serve, as you mentioned, just called up from JV for this match. So his first point in the book.
And Buffo will serve it again. Goes over on one and ready to eat it up, Anders Larson. That's easy pickings there when that serve receive goes up over the net. And the other side, the guys are ready to pound it.
Yeah, they took their eye off of the ball and him. This one sails.
And that one's going to be long. So the serve is long. 3-2 Blaine as they are serving it here in set 2. Blaine down by a set. And the Tornadoes will send L Cup B back to serve it. Favors to the middle, back row, pushed ahead by the libero. Vang, near side, Larson off the tip and down. 4-2 Bengals off to a nice start here in set 2. Boys Volleyball State Tournament will be at the University of St. Thomas, June 10th, 11th, and 12th. That'll be the venue. Jump ace. Big jump serve there by Anders Larson. Sends that one to the back row, and the Tornadoes can't steer it back to the middle. 5-2 Bengals.
Putting it together right here, and I'll tell you, they're getting a variety of servers here with
Larson again.
Good one.
Hits again. Near side back corner, another ace for Anders Larson. He's a junior here for the Bengals and has his team up to their largest lead of the match by 4, 6-2.
Oh, that was so well placed. Oh.
Masanguda keeps that alive. Back to Masanguda. Saved by Larson. Up and over by the Bengals, but it just missed. What a save by Kevin Yang. And it just missed on the near side, outside of the line. 6-3, Bengals leading, Anoka serving.
Yang got up from that with more energy than he went up in the air with as he picked himself back up.
Youngquist, Larson, served by Yang, tipped over Brower, forced it over. One hand save, B back over. Bengals is set up high for Yang, tipped around, and it's down. Point for Blaine. 7-3 Bengals off the tip and down on the Anoka side.
Both teams so active on that defensive side and scurry to keep that ball alive. You're seeing them hit the floor. Get at it. Unbelievable.
Danian Vang has served libero to libero. Vang, near side, left hand. Lindbergh dug out into the net. Point Anoka. Blaine couldn't get it over the net. 7-4. It's 4-7 Anoka serving, and they'll substitute. Skylar Lohr comes in for the first time here in set 2, and Lindbergh, the lefty, will sit down.
Anoka has put together 5 straight wins. Last time out, a big win, 3-0 over Robbinsdale Armstrong.
Senior backup server, or setter, serving here. Bengals set up Brower, dug out nicely. Vang the libero. They come right back. Anderson to the backside. Larson tried to get to it, but out of his reach. Great positional play there, being able to place that ball, getting the point.
Well, Larson covered some court even to get a hand on that one. He closed on it but off the backside of his hand.
5-7, Anoka serving. Skylar Lohr. Here's that little jump short serve. That's what he specialized in. Oh, how about that? Behind the back, backhand little tip by Kingston Yang. And, he's facing one way, and there's just no way. They didn't know he was going to go that way. That was very sneaky.
That had some swag to it. I love that one.
And Yang will serve. 8-5 Bengals. To the back row, B. Anderson saves it. Masnaguda plays it over. Free ball. Brower mistimed his jump a little bit, and the Tornadoes scramble. They get it over. Still alive. Bengals near side. Brower back row overhand dig. Lohr. Check that was B. Then it's Masnaguda. Larson set by Yang in the middle. The big swing, and we got an Anoka player in the net. So Rodcheck the kill attempt, the attack, but Anoka in the net. Point. Bengals are up 9-5.
Continue. They look tireless. I mean, they're constantly diving, both teams.
Yang back row out. Good call by the libero. Chewy Vang. He's the quarterback back there in the back row as the defensive specialist, and he called it out. Substitution. Ryan Trutwin into the match for the first time. Wearing number 28 here tonight, Mark Masnaguda. He tosses that ball almost for his serve. He has to worry about that curtain. He throws it higher than the level of the curtain that's suspended and raised, about 3/4 of the way. But he ends up serving it in the net. So a service error back to Cooper Brower. 10-6 Bengals. Vang to the net. Tip set, up and over. Dug out by the libero to the back row. Brower over free ball. Stepping in front of it was Anderson. They set up far side. Trutwin just in. Block back at him. Tornadoes set up again. Back row attack. Masnaguda, and it's down. Pancake save attempt by Cooper Brower that tried to get that hand flat down, palm down on the floor to save it from hitting the floor, but it's down, and a point for Anoka, serving 7-10. And it's Chewy Vang. Goes to the middle. Brower set for Larson. Big drive dug out by Vang. Back set here. It'll be a standing drive. The set was off. They love feeding Masnaguda for that back row attack because he gets so much momentum, but that one was off, and it's in the net. 11-7 Bengals serving.
Yeah, Blaine, just like Anoka, had won their last 5. 197 kills coming into this match.
Rodcheck, Masnaguda, set by Lohr. In the middle, tipped over Youngquist. Bengals scramble a bit. They keep it alive. From the attack line, it's into the net. 4 hits. And Brower into the net, needed to get that one over. And it's a side out here to the Tornadoes, down 8-11. Lindbergh in here for the Tornadoes, sitting down Skylar Lohr, and serving will be Hank Anderson. Not enough young men named Hank anymore. Larson gets the return set, goes back row of the top spin, saved by Masnaguda over the far side. Trutwin back to the Bengals. Back set, right side drive, didn't clear the net. Tornadoes get the point. Just a little bit off on the set, and that threw Shasha Zhang, right outside hitter off.
Hey, I was thinking about that with Hank as well, and you, a Bob FM guy. I don't know how you're not saying Hank Williams at any time
Williams,
yet tonight.
Yes, there's all kinds of Hanks. Hank Williams Jr. Hank Thompson. This one's at the net, and it ends up down in a 0 for the Tornadoes. Boy, the Tornadoes coming back here. They were down by as many as 4. It's now within 1. They're serving 10-11.
Hank has a streak going here on his serves.
Hank Anderson again. Floats one over just beyond the attack line. Larson saved it. They back row attack to Brower. Set by Anderson in the middle. And it's hammered back the other way on the right side. This time Zhang didn't miss on that one. And he gets up high, drops it down hard. 12-10. Bengals back to serve. Calvin Buffo.
I had thought that was going to be a certain point there for the Tornadoes. Nicely played by the Bengals.
Sophomore Buffo tried to come across the court on his serve, but he missed in the net. Back to a 1-point set here. 12-11 Bengals. Substitution. And back in is Elka B, just a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
He'll come in to serve. Delivers that serve. Buffo in the middle. Set by Yang to Larson up off the block. Dug out nicely Anderson. Back set Masnaguda to the back row. Missed just beyond the line. It was close. That's one where if you're at Wimbledon, they go to the replay, the animated replay
Yes.
where you show the ball hitting or missing the line, and that one missed the line. Anders Larson to the back row. Dugout B. Set. Up and over Lindbergh, and it's a kill. In front of a diving Kelvin Buffo. Anoka back to within one.
I don't know how they were able to return that booming serve by Larson. I thought for certain that was going to be point worthy.
Youngquist serving. 12-13. Buffo. Set Yang. Near side Brower. B. Set by Anderson. Wanted to go to Masnaguda. They have to adjust and go to the tip. And sometimes that throws the defense off as much as it does on the offensive attack side. As the Bengals were set up for a power attack, and because of the set being off, it's dropped in. We're tied at 13. Larson, Yang, Larson. Up and over towards the net, but not over. And the hook shot there by Blaine came up short. Point here to the Bengals. They're back up by one. They get the serve.
Nip and tuck so close. I don't think one team's had more than a 4-point lead over the other.
Vang to Yang, and then Lindbergh off the block and down. Almost a pancake save. Vang for the Bengals. Close.
Yeah, unleashed that southpaw kill attempt on the attack.
So Skylar Lohr in to serve. Jump serve to Vang. Set in the middle. Rodcheck. Nice tip. And the libero Vang. We're into the second set. I'm just realizing now that both teams' liberos, their last name is Vang. You got Danian Vang for the Bengals, and you got Chewy Vang for Anoka. I didn't ask if they were related. Assuming that they're not, but they could be. That one was in the net. That's a service error.
Well, Kevin,
on the service by Yang, and we're tied at 15.
And of course, Kevin Yang currently with 127 sets, good enough for 8th in the state for Blaine. He's had a couple more here tonight.
Here comes Mark Masnaguda to serve from the middle. There's that high service toss off the top of the net. Passed ahead. Nice job by Brower just keeping that in play. Tornadoes able to set up. Back set by Lohr. Here comes Masnaguda from the back row. And the key for Anoka is they have to set it up for him, but then they have to clear out of the way to let him go right down the middle. It's like he's coming off the landing strip for the...
it's the bulldozer coming through, and I'll tell you, the way he hits that ball and the placement.
Here he comes again, right from the middle, off the top spin. Brower set up for Zhang, and it's up and over and down for the Bengals. Anoka had taken a short lead there, 16-15. Now it's back to 16-16.
These two teams are so evenly matched. Every time you look up at the scoreboard, it's either tied or it's just a 1 point separating the other.
Here's Brower. Vang. Lohr. Trut one hits that one over. Nice one-hand set, kind of saving away from the net to the right side. Zhang is blocked and denied. But the point will go to the Bengals as the block went out of bounds. So point and serve Blaine. They're up by one, 17-16. Serving Brower. Vang. Lohr. Over here to the Bengals. And we're going to get a point. Legal hit. Double hit on the set There was a collision there. You can't run into your setter there in Kingston Yang. He needs room to be able to get those elbows out and get the set up. So a miscue there by the Bengals, tied at 17. Serving again is Vang. Libero for the Bengals, Vang. Near side, Larson up high. But a tornado in the net. When they can set up Anders Larson, he's another guy who can really get up there and get some power.
Oh, God.
And that'll be a point here to the Bengals. They're up 18-17.
I wouldn't want to be on the other end of one of those kill attempts by Larson.
Blaine trying to even up the match. They're down 1-0. And that serve clearly into the net there by Racek. And he'll come out, sit down. Substitution for the Bengals, tied at 18. First set was very tight. I think at one point there was a 4-point lead for Anoka, but that wasn't for very long.
It was not.
And this one here, Blaine had a 4-point lead at one point, but again, it's been very tight, tied at 18. Anderson serving. Larson, Yang, back to Larson, goes to the left-hand tip. Vang here for Anoka. Jump set Anderson. Masnaguda has to tip it over. Larson directs it back in over on the free ball. Tornadoes, Masnaguda showing off his setting ability as well. And it's in on the back row. It's down by Trutwin. And Sam Christopherson, I think he thought that was out from his angle, but was called in by the near side lines person, 19-18 Anoka.
He needed all of the space he could get to land that thing.
So serving Anderson again. Can Anoka... It's always key to be the first one to get to 20. Larson, back set. That one's going to be off the mark. It'll be 4 hits. So that time a setting error there by Yang and the Bengals out of the reach of Zhang. And Yang knew it. He said, my bad. And Blaine will call the timeout. And all of a sudden, Blaine has had the lead for 80% of the second set. But now it's Anoka, 20-18 with a timeout on the court.
Yeah, they've put some service points together. Good location. We get a look at some of the schedules coming up here across QCTV for the Tornadoes. They are at the Prairie Seeds Academy on the 24th, and Rogers, the host here. Followed at Osseo on the 30th. Irondale on the 5th of May, and then they'll travel to Elk River on May 7th for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, like we said, midway point in the season. Regular season ends for Anoka on Wednesday, May 21st at Andover. And for Blaine, also Wednesday, May 21st against Spring Lake Park. Spring Lake Park, they're a top 10 team, currently number 10. Anoka rated 9th. In the latest rankings just out today. They were 10th last week, and that was the first week they were in the rankings. You're at 9-1, you're going to get some attention. Free ball at the net, and it's dunked by Noah Youngquist, 21-18. Great job by Anoka. You come out of the other team's timeout, and they're the one that takes advantage.
Absolutely. You know what? They were not able to break the momentum with that timeout with Blaine, so now to get his 4th service point.
Anderson gets it to the big man Larson over on the far side. Over Zhang, scramble, they'll set it up to Trutwin, and that one way out.
Lands in the next area code.
That one's in the Rum River. So 21, no, that's that way though. The river's that way, right?
Correct.
That would be, that way would be Round Lake Boulevard.
Correct. Untouchable.
Yeah. So the trajectory on that one off just a bit. So the point inside out here to the Bengals, down by 2, serving 19-21. Kelvin Buffo to the back row. Vang. They'll have to scramble. Wonderful diving save by Masnaguda. He punched that one over, diving forward. Then Larson blocked back at him. He recovers. Back to the Tornadoes. They'll set it up. Left side, left hand, Lindbergh. And it's down 22-19 Tornadoes.
Even though you know that kill is coming, that from that left side, it still takes about a half a second, if that, to kind of adjust. And well done by Lindbergh.
Elka B, the only freshman on the varsity roster. 22-19 here for the Tornadoes, trying to take a 2-0 lead. Tipped over on 2. Anderson sets, back sets. Over Lindbergh, dugout Bengals. Larson, he goes with left-hand tip. Tipped around. Do they have one more hit? They do. Masnaguda, Bengals. Larson down. Point Bengals, 22-20.
Hammer time by Larson. He just plows through, climbs the ladder.
Anders don't hurt him. Hammer don't hurt him.
Hammer don't hurt him.
22-20. Anders is back to serve. Masnaguda gets the return set. He hammers one off the block. Kept alive. And it's up and over by Lindbergh. What a save. Keeping it alive. Good rally here. Then a left-hand punch and down by Brower.
You're right. That was perfect. It was a punch because he went up both hands first and then just literally punched it to the opening. Wow, what a battle. 22-21, bodies flying all over the place.
Bengals back to within 1, and the Anders Larson serve just a bit low, hit that angle or hit that cable and then spun down into the net. 23-21 Anoka. And serving is Noah Youngquist, senior middle hitter. 23-21 Tornadoes serving. Youngquist plops it over. Buffo set Yang. Up and over Brower. Back set Lindbergh. Block back at him. Off the Tornadoes. Point Bengals. They're within 1.
Excellent pressure at the net. Back and forth. And finally deflected out of play by Anoka. Serve goes to Blaine and a point.
The Vang serve. Vang to Vang. Libero to Libero. Masnaguda. Set point.
He got up top and really brought down a power kill that time. Placement also was great, but boy, he had some conviction on that kill.
Set point. Anoka trying to go up 2-0. Skylar Lord to serve. 24-22 Tornadoes. Buffo to the net. Jump set. Tipped over, needed by Rodcheck, and it drops in. That little tip threw the Tornadoes off, and that keeps the Bengals alive. Sitting in front of us, we got Roger Way here in front of us. He's got a, speaking of the Rum River, I think he's going to go drop a line after the match tonight. He's got a fishing pole.
Yes.
So it's a 24-23. It's still set point here, Tornadoes. Masnaguda ends it. Elevates high and then power tips it down. And Anoka wins set number 2, 25-23. Another close one, another 2-point set. But Anoka is up 2-0 as we go to set 3 here from Anoka High School on QCTV Sports. Anoka wins set number 2, 25-23. Another close one, another 2-point set. But Anoka is up 2-0.
The snow is flying and the rinks are ready. All rink locations are open for use across Anoka at George Enlow Park, Lincoln Elementary School, Rick Sorensen Park, Rudy Johnson Park, and Wilson Elementary. The general schedule for the warming houses is Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, noon to 8 p.m. This schedule is subject to change based on ice conditions and facility usage. All skating rinks are cleaned and surfaced as staff, time, and weather permits. Rinks cannot be surfaced during the following conditions. Flooding in extremely cold temperatures causes the ice to crack and boil. Flooding in warm weather results in puddling and uneven surfaces. Flooding under these conditions causes poor ice, air pockets, and ripples. Per the snow clearing policy, rinks will be cleared off as soon as the snow has stopped falling during working hours. Clearing streets and sidewalks are the #1 priority after a snowfall. There are shovels at the rinks if skaters want to clear snow off the ice on their own. Skater safety is our main priority. Rinks may also close in the event of a wind chill advisory. The recreation supervisor will determine all rink closures. The City of Anoka is proud to offer skates and snowshoes for people to loan while they visit the rinks. These loaners are available at specific locations. Ice skates are available at the Lincoln Elementary Warming House. Snowshoes are available at the George Enlow Park Warming House. Please talk with the ice rink attendant when wanting to use a pair. You must fill out a sheet with your name, phone number, and signature. If you have questions or concerns regarding skating rink operations, please contact the City of Anoka Public Services Department at 763-576-2980. Happy skating!
Set 3. Welcome back to the Anoka High School Fieldhouse. Along with Joe Rulin, I'm Jim Erickson. And so far, it's been Anoka, 2 close wins, 26-24, 25-23. And now the Bengals, their back is against the wall, trying to improve on their 7-3 record. Anoka trying to stay undefeated in the conference here, and right now they've got the advantage.
They do. The last outing for Blaine was a win over Robbinsdale Armstrong. They avenged an earlier loss to the Falcons with that win in their last outing, but here they need the win to continue this match, down 2-0.
Blaine will serve to start the third set. Anthony Rodchak, senior, ready to let this one fly, number 7.
It's an excellent crowd considering it's absolutely beautiful outside.
Right, yeah, Monday night in the spring. Jump serve are underway here in set 3. In the middle, Lindbergh into the net and down on the Anoka side. Points for Blaine. 1-0 Bengals. They need 25 of those here to keep this match going here in the third set.
Lindbergh that time didn't quite get that jump or the technique.
Rodchak, go off the top, net cord and down. That's an ace. Sometimes you get a little bit lucky on that, and the ball able to tumble over and down, and a lot of times those are almost unreturnable. 2-0 Bengals. Rodchak again to the back row. Lohr, set Anderson, Lindbergh. Finds an opening and drops it in. That's the campfire we talk about in volleyball, where everybody's just kind of standing around and looking in a circle and it lands there.
Right.
Tough to decide who's going to go for it.
Correct. Exactly the case there.
B back to serve for Anoka. 1-2. They're serving. Larson overhand pass. Set by Yang. Back to Anders Larson to the back row. B, nice job. Anderson to the net over free ball. Masnaguda, perfect placement. He used every inch of the court and he drops it in, tied at 2.
The way he struck that with that, usually with that hand you have a little bit more control, but that was perfectly placed for the point.
Larson set Yang in the middle, and Yang drives it out of bounds. That was Kevin Yang with the drive, but it just did miss. Nope.
It got the tip.
Got the tip, so there was a tip. So that'll point it over here to the Bengals. They're up 3-2. Vang pass Anderson, Masnaguda. Dug out by the Bengals. Vang steered in the middle. Brower back over from the back row. Buffo, nice job there. Free ball, middle. Tornadoes tipped it. Youngquist. Here's Larson to the back row. Off of one hand, and Vang got another hand on it. But that one's going to be punched back the other direction. 4-2 Bengals.
Good job. Good control, and now a chance to jump out to a 3-point lead. We've mentioned it a couple of times. The team has not had any more than 4-point lead in any of these sets.
Buffo on the serve, setting up Lindbergh, cross court into the Blaine bench. That missed wide. Point Bengals, 5-2. Bengals having to play with some desperation here in the third set, down 2-0.
Buffo again. Set by Anderson. Moss, Naguda. Passed ahead, Brower. Set delivered by Yang. Larson blocked down. Point Tornadoes off the tip. Touched on the Bengals side. It'll side it out here to Anoka. They'll serve 3-5.
Yep, getting a look. Youngquist here, a chance to kind of get Anoka on a roll.
Noah's serve. Smack dab in the middle to Vang. Set by Yang. Kill! Kingston Yang to Kevin Yang. Drives it down in the middle. And all the Tornadoes could do is watch. 6-3.
I mean, he just suspends himself in air. Kevin Yang that time, I swear, just froze.
Anders Larson hits the cable and it's thrown right back at him. Service air. Tornado ball. They'll be serving here 4-6.
Yeah, he snapped the cable, just missed on a good serve there, but Anoka will not relinquish or give up anything more than that 3 or 4 point deficit. And Lord comes in for his serve.
Yep.
Always kind of keeps it into that front line. It drops right over the net.
Lindbergh sits down. Anderson sits down. Joshua Londa Sasa is into the match as well. Take a spot up at the net. Here's the Lore serve. Buffo scrambling a bit. Yang. Nice recovery there. Brower able to adjust. Set by Lore. Back set. Lunda Sasa just into the match. Dug out by Buffo. He'll get it built. Instead, stepping in front of him over Yang. Free ball. Tipped over on one by Lean. At the net. Jump set. Brower's got it for the Bengals.
Waited for it. Reached back. It got a little farther back in that zone and able to find it and get the point. 3 point lead chance now for that 4 point lead here for Blaine.
Danny and Vang serving. White shirt to white shirt. Left side. Lunda Sass up high. Came back. Power tip. Racek. Back to Lunda Sassa. Set Yang. Brower. Tip. Wonderful diving save there by Lunda Sassa. Back to the net. Battle back and forth. Back on the Bengals side. Set by Yang. For Racek. Dugout Tornadoes. Big hit Monsnaguda, but he is denied. And the block, the big part of that block was Brower. Also part of it was Racek. 8-4 in a bang-bang play.
Yeah, you could tell like the weight shift as that ball got lodged between the two.
Bengals by 8. Lunda Sassa down the line, finds the line. It's in. Siding out, Anoka will be serving 5-8.
Get into back below 3. That was an 8-4 lead for Blaine before that last point by the Tornadoes.
So Mark Mosnaguda is going to serve. His serving is worth the price of admission. He serves like the guys in the Olympics or NCAA Division I men's volleyball. Up to the net, tipped, and into the net. That tip by the Tornadoes. Ryan Trutwin made contact with the net. That'll get it here to the Bengals. They are back up by 4, 9-5. They need to win this set to keep it alive, down 2-0. Kingston Yang. Right into Trutwin. Comes back to him. Bengals set it up to the net from Larson. Brower. Back here. Power. Directional push. Tip by Joshua Lunda Sassa. It's down. Point Tornado.
Brower did a good job. I thought he was going right into the net after he launched the return push over and able to maintain the balance, but Anoka picked up that point.
Chewy Vang serving, driving it, and just wide. Far side. Back to Blaine.
Blaine keeps nudging this thing at 4 points, and then Anoka brings it back to 3. Let's see if Blaine can take it over the top here on this service.
Junior Brower, Masnaguda with the pass, the set. Roll shot up and over. Larson, cross court, dug out. Yang saved it, but they don't have an extra hit. They did not have a hit to give. But I tell you what, Chewy Bang got to a couple of balls there and just so energetic. Most liberos are. Sometimes they're the spiritual leader.
Yes.
And the emotional leader, as this is going to be a serve by Cooper Brower. I was just about to say he's been doing a good job. That one, though, in the net with the service error. And that gets Anoka back to within 4, serving 7-11.
But you see Chewy Vang diving for it, hitting that floor hard, but he gets up just laughing. Big smile, great energy.
If you are going to be a libero, you have to have no fear.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go crashing into chairs, first rows of the bleachers, the net stanchions, just doesn't matter. Your own players. Here's the left to right serve, Anderson, and that is a net serve. So right back to the Bengals. Both teams, a couple of serves here. And now Racek back to serve, 12-7. Bengals up by 5.
This ball off of Racek's hand just springs, unleashes some speed immediately.
He delivers to Vang, set up Anderson. Roll shot over, and it drops in. Ryan Trutwin. Sophomore outside hitter gets the kill there, 12-8.
A couple of points ago, they were both lobbying after, hey, we got to 8-4, then Anoka would bring it back to within 3. Then 9-5, Anoka would bring it back to within 3. Now Blaine's brought it back out to 11-6, and Anoka's back to within 4.
L Cup B to Larson. Return set. Larson gets the kill. Anders Larson from Kingston Yang. That Blaine lead back at 5 as they get the serve back, leading at 13-18. Anoka leads the match 2-0.
And you got to think Coach Christofferson kind of waiting to push it over the edge right here on this service.
Jump serve Buffo here for the Bengals. Masnaguda off the top of the block. Kept alive up in the air. They set up Larson. That rolled up the arm of Hank Anderson and behind him and out of bounds. So Blaine right now a 6-point lead. That's the largest lead either team has had in the match tonight in sets 1, 2, or 3. And it's 14-8.
Yeah, you can just tell the momentum here. They're looking to blow this open.
Masnaguda, Anderson set up in the middle. Youngquist blocked back at him. And right now that momentum in favor of the Bengals. Their lead is 7. Timeout Anoka, 15-8 Blaine. Of course, they need a win in this third set to keep this match going, and so far so good for the Bengals.
Yeah, and I think a great timeout there by Olivia Walbert as the set was getting away, and they looked just a little bit ragged, a little bit tired, so they'll reset, refuel, and try to cut into this deficit. Look at Blaine and their schedule coming up. They have a matchup coming up against, looks like Andover on the 13th of May, and then they host Spring Lake Park on the 21st for the
Anoka superfan Jeff Nelson was telling me before the game here tonight, as we talked about it, I think during our baseball game last week at Champlin, that Andover is moving up in football to 6A.
Correct.
And they will play Anoka. Anoka and Andover will play for, he told me how many years it has been. I'm sure it's been since, they've gone to district play. Districts mostly based on class. When they went from the conferences to the district. So it's been a few years, so that'll be fun. The Huskies meet the Tornadoes for the first time in many years on the gridiron as this one dropped in, and Bengals continue their run here up by 8.
Yeah, Andover led by head coach Wilkie. The last time Andover has been in that 6A.
Big drive, Masnaguda. Blaine's getting to everything right now. Tipped over Larson. Set up Anderson. Masnaguda, another try. That one unretrievable as he hammers it down the middle out of the reach of Vang. And let's see if that puts a spark into the Tornadoes here, down by 7, 16-9.
That kill said, enough already. I got to bury this and let's get back to serving.
Youngquist to do the serving. Knuckler. Larson. Dug out Masnaguda. That was close to going out, and they're going to whistle this down. Point Blaine. I'm not sure they're going to have, the two officials are going to talk. I didn't see anything wrong, and they're not saying that anybody was in the net. I don't think it was an illegal hit. The two captains will come over and hear the explanation as well. Kingston Yang for the Bengals and Mark Masnaguda there as well. They're getting an explanation. So they're sorting whatever this is out. We might get
I don't know if that was like an incidental whistle or
well, if
what.
it is, then it's a replay. You get the old the two fingers up, the old jump ball signal in basketball, which means replay the point. Let's see if that's what we're going to do here. Captains are explaining to the coaches. Oh, the explanation. Neither coach, I think, is happy with whatever explanation was, but it will be a replay. So we got the two thumbs up.
Yep.
We will replay.
But who was serving?
Oh, and they brought out the yellow card. Oh, gosh, I don't know the last time we've seen a yellow card.
There.
So they'll replay the point. Noah Youngquist ready to serve. Serving 9-16, down by 7. Anoka coaches are still talking. They're trying to explain something. The head coach, assistant coaches over there. I don't know. It might have been a rotation situation. That's one thing that I've never been able to really understand. I really have to dive into the rules of volleyball and how you move. You know, you set up in one spot and then you rotate as the serve happens. And if you rotate to the wrong spot, usually they catch you and they whistle it down. So, like we said, early on, first ever boys volleyball season in Minnesota here. There's a learning curve, certainly. So we're replaying the point. Larson into the net. We'll see if all that takes away some of this momentum that the Bengals have kind of set up here in the last several minutes. Masnaguda finds a near side back corner. That'll certainly help Anoka's cause here. They'll be serving at 10-16.
Yeah, he reached way back to drive that one home. Masnaguda.
Youngquist serving here. Overhand pass, steered in the middle by Yang. Scramble, free ball, tornadoes, Masnaguda, power left-hand tip.
And great balance to not go out, to not go through or over the line into the net. I thought that was certain for him.
He tips his ball about as hard as I could probably hit it on a standard attack. 11-16. Anoka serve, and the Bengals
maybe a timeout here for Blaine.
Here, Brower, that goes out of bounds. And Anoka gets another one there within 4. And just as you mentioned, Joe, good position here, good spot for a Blaine timeout, and Coach Christofferson will do just that.
Yeah, the largest lead at 8 points. And then they got the serve. Anoka had that point, and then that's when the delay and kind of the do-over took place. And it was like some of that momentum just shifted, got a little flat to Blaine. They were hot. They were hopping. They were, bringing their A game. And that led them out to that 8-point differential. The largest lead for either team here tonight here in the third set of this match. Anoka with the 2-0 lead on this.
Upcoming broadcasts here on QCTV. Already to April 21st. Basically the remainder of our April broadcast schedule right there, Joe.
Yeah, it is. Look at that. We got lacrosse coming up, Anoka at Andover. It's coming up on the 23rd, 24th. We've got Maple Grove at Anoka. Baseball at the Castle, Jim, you and I.
Yes, the ball is on the Anoka side, tipped. Back for the Bengals, pushed over. Overhand save B. Masnaguda blocked back at him. And Bee did a nice job digging it out after the block. Came back and just in better position to hammer that one down was Kevin Yang and Anders Larson. And Larson will go back to serve it. Point Bengals back up by 5.
Timeout pays off there for Blaine. Back to that 5-point lead, 17-12.
And Anders Lee. Top spin, Masnaguda. Able to get it to the net, over for the Tornadoes. Brower. Flops it over. Masnaguda from the attack line off the top of the net. Dug out overhand Brower. In the middle, back row attack goes wide by Larson. Tried that roll shot. The palm of his hand from the base of the palm, the heel of his palm, tried to roll it up, but he missed the near side, and it's out of bounds. That roll shot gives you a little top spin on it, but sometimes it can cause you to lose some direction. 13-17, Anoka serving. Lohr, Buffo, Yang, up high Brower. Off the block and out of bounds, point for the Bengals.
You can tell they got their momentum back here after that timeout taken by the Bengals. Now back to a 5-point lead with the serve.
18-13 Bengals. Lohr sets. Wanda Sass up over the net. Bengals ready to go over on 2. And it was hanging over. What a play at the net by Brower. Able to deny Lean. It looked like Lean had the advantage. The ball was more on his side. But Brower skied and put it down. 19-13 Bengals. Yang. Lunda Sassa. Yang. Brower, who's hot right now, has got another one.
Hey,
Cooper Brower off the top of the net and down. And Blaine the first one to 20.
It is. It's going the right way here for Blaine, and Brower's just like a shooter in basketball. Give him the ball. He's in the zone.
And the Bengals have built that lead back to 7. 20-13. Danian Vang serving in. Far corner just hit where the sideline meets the end line. 21-13 Bengals in command now.
Yeah, this game, it had that feel of the set as Blaine kept nudging up, inching that lead.
And there's another ace serve, this time by Vang. Tornadoes cannot recover, cannot return. 22-13. Vang again. Pass by B. Near side. Masnaguda in the net. Bengals point. Tornadoes regardless. So they'll end that service run, but now they got to go on a run of their own here, down 14-22 as they serve if they want to win this one in 3 sets.
So if there's going to be somebody who puts them on a run, it's the Masnaguda.
Bang. Cross court, Brower ends up in the net. You know, technically when you look at it, the Bengals have done a really good job on serve receive on Masnaguda. Vang is the libero, and he generally has been the return man and the receive man. He's done a nice job keeping that ball in play and getting it to his setter. Masnaguda again. This time Lee Brower. That time not so good. It goes over on 1. Advantage Tornadoes over to the far side. Treadwin down the near side. Cross court. He hits the line.
Yeah, you can see he mixed it up on his serve. Wanted the return to come from someone else, and it paid off for Anoka.
You know, if you're Anoka, anybody you'd want there to try to get a service run going, it's this guy, Masnaguda. That looked like a miss hit, and it's going to drop in anyway on Larson. And the Tornadoes chipping away here within 5, 17-22. Masnaguda on a run.
Yeah, that ball looked like it was going long, but when it's coming that fast.
Bengals call the timeout. And now Anoka, a little momentum. They've got it to within 5. It's still 22-17. If you're Anoka and you want to come back in this third one, a lot of good things still need to happen in rally scoring because it's only 3 points away here for the Bengals. But at least, even if the Bengals win this one and force a fourth set, at least if you're Anoka, you're still up 2-1, and you also know that you battled to the end. You had a little bit of a run here at the end of this set.
Yeah, and then you kind of see it in the set 4 how much energy you really have left in those legs and what have you. But right now, Anoka in the process of doing the Mas Naguda and putting together some points on his serve. Ready to take the court.
There's a Blaine timeout, so they'll talk things over.
Yep.
Mark Masnaguda, senior. Ready to serve it away. Right to Larson. Gets it to the center. In the middle for Racek. Tornado set up. Back row attack. Masnaguda. Bang. Back to the net. Tipped around. Came over to the Bengals. That looked like trouble for the Tornadoes. They were able to get it over. Here's a set by Lohr. To the back row, Larson. Yang slapped over Brower. Looked like a bit of a miss hit, but it still
He's in the zone. He's been in the zone.
Yeah, off of the Tornadoes. Everything Brower hits has been gold here, and now it's 2 away from the Bengals. They needed that to end the run for Anoka.
That did look like just a miss hit altogether, but when you're in it, you're hitting it.
23-17. Served over by Yang. Set up, Trutwin tries to drop it down at the attack line. Larson from the back row. Masnaguda getting under it is Lohr to the far side. Trutwin, Larson again. Overhand pass and a double hit on the set. So the Bengals give that point over and that ball and service over to Anoka. Anoka serving 18-23. Anoka not going quietly here in this third set. Chui Vang, senior libero, defensive specialist, serving to Danian Vang. Running tip over, Zhang. Back set Lohr. Lunda Sassa, block back at him, into the net, can't dig it out. Point Bengals, and it's set point here. Blaine trying to get this to 2-1, and they'll lead at 24-18. And they're going to give a yellow card to A.J. Racek. Might have been more something he said. Racek is very apologetic. Whatever happened there, Bengals still get the point.
He did, and Racek also able to keep that alive to get that point, and whatever transpired, he certainly
might have just been a little overexcited and did something the official didn't like. He's trying to settle down based on his body language. Meanwhile, back to live action. Cooper Brower into the net. And Anoka stays alive. 19-24, they'll be serving.
Yep. Waiting to see who was going to take that serve. It is going to be Hank Anderson.
You got a lot more going for you with Hank. We'll see what Hank does here, the senior. Serving 19-24. Oh, what a beautiful serve. That drop serve right at the attack line. Short serve. Brower couldn't get to it. 20-24. Again, Anoka leading it 2-0.
So well placed.
Blaine trying to get it to a fourth set. Anoka trying a big rally here. Anderson serves again. Larson, Yang, back to Larson. On the near side, it's off the net, off the block, and down. Point Blaine, and they win set 3, 25-20. Still a 2-1 edge here for Anoka as we move on to set 4 here from Anoka High School on QCTV Sports.
Rum River Art Center is your local nonprofit organization located in the Old Milk Factory near downtown Anoka. Our nearly 6,000 square feet of windy and whimsical studio spaces are filled with inspiration. At Rum River Art Center, we embrace individuals of all artistic abilities and focus on the healing aspect of the process over your final product. We pride ourselves in offering classes with a huge variety of mediums at an affordable price. From one-time ceramic wheel throwing classes to multi-week painting courses, from creating at the Art Center to finding us at your local library, we believe art is the catalyst for connecting human beings to each other and themselves. Come visit us or check out our website, rumriverart.com, for more info on classes, galleries, special events, and how you can support the arts in your community.
We are Midwest Animal Rescue and Services, aka MARS. We are committed to serving both pet and parent, finding homes for animals that were once lost, left behind, and forgotten, while bringing harmony and enhancing education in our community. We started in 2006 and have a 98% adoption success rate. With the help of our community and people like you, MARS has saved over 21,000 animals. All of our animals live in foster homes as family members. Once they get adopted and go home, they stay home. We have a nonprofit veterinary clinic and dog obedience training services. We are actively supporting both ends of the leash, both people and pets, breaking down barriers and building community. Visit our website, www.midwestanimalrescue.org, to learn more and join our MARS community today.
Stay alive, and we go to set 4. It's been 26-24, 25-23 Anoka in the first two, and then Blaine in desperation, Joe, doing what they needed to do.
Yeah, they opened up
at 25-20.
They opened up a couple of 8-point leads in that third set as we head now to set number 4. That what you have below, that's go to the start here of the fourth set. Again, 2-1 in lead of Anoka.
You know, when you have two evenly matched teams that we have here, it's hard with rally scoring to come back from 8. It used to happen when they had the side out scoring, when you only scored when you served.
Yeah.
But it's just hard to do it in rally scoring. You see it very seldom. Here comes Hank Anderson, and he will serve again. Served late in the third set. He'll start out the fourth set. Tornadoes up 2-1, and that's off the antenna. Service air right off the bat. 1-0 Bengals.
Start with some momentum. The point and now the serve for these Bengals.
Kelvin Buffalo, the sophomore, up from the JV roster, seeing a lot of minutes here tonight. Over by Lindbergh. Passed ahead Brower. They'll set up Larson. Masanguda. Set middle Youngquist. Bengals ready for it. Over on 2. Bang digs it out. Back row Masanguda hammers it home.
He brought that one from last week and stormed his way towards the net and unleashed a kill that was not going to be denied.
The coach said, forget about the curveball, give him the heater, and that's exactly what Masanguda gave him, tying it at 1. It'll be L Cup B ready to serve, top of the net, and it's down. Sneaky little top of the net play. They typically do that on purpose, but on a low serve like that, it hits it, drops it down, 2-1 Tornadoes.
Yeah, throws off all the timing.
B. That one hits the net and stays on the other side. Game of inches. Previous one was just a few inches higher. That one just a few inches, maybe as few as 1 or 2 inches lower. Ends up hitting that cable, goes down, stays in the net, 2-2. Bengals, another net serve. This time, Anders Larson misses on the serve. We've got some fourth set jitters here back from the service line.
Yeah, or maybe just a little bit fatigue setting in here.
Youngquist, Larson, Yang, cross court, Brower. Played up by Youngquist.
And Youngquist, he knew he should have let that one go. Just as he made contact with it, he's like, God, that was going to be long.
Just the fact that Masanguda even got to it, but
Yeah.
In no way was he going to be able to get that in between the antennas.
No.
So we're tied at 3. Serving Bengals. Masna good on the left side. Nothing you can do about that one.
Well, as this match gets longer, that's one player who's getting stronger for both teams.
They got it to him so fast. The Bengals were late with the block. Never got the block there. And Masaguda could basically put it where he wanted to. 3-3 tie. Lohr back to serve. 2-1, Tornadoes lead the match. We're in set 4. Lohr delivers his version of the jump serve. Brower, back row attack. Larson, dugout, kept alive. Can Larson get it again? He can!
What a play!
What a save by Skylar Lohr. Oh, and look at the Tornadoes. What a save. He had 2 saves on that play. He saved it on the first hit, and then on the third hit, he hit it over. Let's take a look at the replay.
What a moment here. Just to trigger that momentum. Look at that heading to the floor after his second hit.
And then Londa Sassa had the second hit, and then Skylar Lohr. Oh, my. 4-3, and oh, my, and the other end, Cooper Brower with that sharp cross-court drive from the left outside to the far side, cross-court inside the attack line, tied at 4.
He says enough and goes with the cross with conviction and buries it. Wow.
Serving Yang. Masanguda is going to have to adjust. Powers it through the block of Cooper Brower. That two-hand power tip by Masnaguda, who goes back and he'll serve. They're up 5-4.
Says, I got to get that serve going here. That's what I want. So made a nice play against Brower.
Yang sets it up, and it's going to be long and out. Shasha Zhang did not get the angle of attack that he needed there. And the serve here, Masnaguda again.
Yep, just a bit under it.
I tell you what, the sound effects here are on point.
They are.
Here at Anoka High School. Masnaguda. Net serve. That'll side it out. Point Bengals. They'll be serving 5-6.
You know, when he is out there just playing with Masnaguda and his effort, he leaves no ounces or crumbs left on the plate.
Anybody who uses sound effects from The Price is Right. That's high level right there. That's high respect. Battle at the net. Who's getting the point? Both ways.
And they're going to chat. He's asking the linesman to come on down and get some clarity.
We'd have to take a look at a replay. It was a end-to-end, side-to-side play. Tied at 6 as it sits right now.
Yeah, boxcars in this fourth set. That second one, we get another look at this replay.
So there's the set. Yeah, that's going to be a good call because the Bengals were in the net. The attack to the net was by Lindbergh. And Bengals were in the net, and now Kingston Yang is getting the explanation from the net official. Our replay clearly showed the Bengal in the net. And I didn't see anything from the Tornadoes prior to that that would have negated the player in the net that would have preceded that. Any other kind of violation. So point Anoka, and every point is critical, so that's why they're talking it over. 7-5 Tornadoes serving. Brower tips it over. Vang jump set Lohr. They got to scramble. They do get it over. Here's Vang for the Bengals to Yang in the middle. Over Racek, back to the Tornadoes. They'll set up Trutwin. Brower over, no, into the net. Point Anoka, 8-5.
Making the march here. Let's see if Anoka can create some distance. Continue to generate that momentum here in set number 4.
It's Chewy Vang serving. Wearing the white libero jersey. Overhand pass, Brower. Anders Larson off the top of the net. Ready for it, Youngquist. Masnaguda. Vang, back set Larson. Dugout up and over. Vang, back to the Bengals. It's Yang, back set right side, and Jong into the net. Timing off a little bit on that one, so an attack error for the Bengals. And Anoka by 4, 9-5, and Vang to serve again.
Yeah, that came inside, and it looked like it may have locked them up just a bit.
Vang delivers this one. Larson. Nice. One-hand set, having directed away from the net and ready to eat it up. Racek.
Yeah, they set the table, and Racek buried it. You could tell he was trying to close up on that point.
Bengals serving 6-9. And Racek back to serve. Masnaguda. Jump set Lohr. And it's down. Youngquist to the back row and in. 10-6 Tornadoes.
Yeah, delayed that shot just a bit to allow it to get to the right leverage, and he tagged it from there near the back line. 4-point lead as Anoka trying to create, as I said before, some distance here from Blaine. A 4-point lead and the serve.
Anderson leading 10-6. Number 10 serving. Larson. Back to the Tornadoes. They go to the back row, off a little bit. Masnaguda goes to the back row. Steered to the middle by Yang. Then from the back row, it's Brower. Back to Masnaguda. Punched over on the second hit. Double hit then. That one threw Jong off. Timing was off there, and the Bengals right now are off. And head coach Christopherson's going to call a timeout as Anoka's opened up a 5-point lead here in the fourth set, up 2-1, 11-6.
Yeah, good timeout. I don't think Anoka's had a 5-point lead tonight in any other previous sets. So this is certainly a critical time. And you look to see, hey, you put so much energy in to win that third set. And you got to make sure, hey, we come back clean with technique and see and make sure we have enough energy. So good strategic timeout there by the Blaine coach.
See the Anoka coaching staff there. You see Olivia Wolberg, Brandon Kuntz, the assistant coach. Assistant coach Brandon Kuntz looks like a guy that could get to the net, get up high, and hammer it down. Same thing with Sam Christopherson.
Absolutely.
Coach for the Blaine Bengals. Called his games. He was playing baseball and hockey at Osseo. For the Osseo Orioles on the radio in the early 2010s. He's a 2012 graduate of Osseo. So 11-6 after the Blaine timeout. The service by Anderson. Jump set. Larson. Dugout. Masnaguda. But some miscommunication at the net on that dig and pass. And the Bengals get a break there. They'll be serving 7-11.
Yeah, Anoka got that dig, but then they just shut down and watched that ball hit the court.
It's the Slurpee serve, the 7-11 serve here by the Bengals. In the middle, tipped down, saved. Going down to the floor was Brower, gets a return hit. That's dug out nicely by Trutwin. And then tipped Youngquist. Back to the Tornadoes, back row drive. Masnaguda missed it long. And the Bengals chipping back to 3. 8-11 serving. Calvin Buffo. Right down the middle. Overhand pass by Vang. Left side with the left hand. Lindbergh. Back row. Punched over Brower. Lindbergh again. Again it's Brower. Vang. Anders Larson. Overhand dig Anderson to the net. Tipped over Anderson on 2. Back Larson. Hammers it down. Anders Larson. Big point there for the Bengals as he finishes the point.
Larson and Brower have just been two strong 1-2 kill shot performers tonight for Blaine.
9-11 Bengals serving. Jump set Anderson. Backside. Blocked on the Trutwin drive. Tornadoes will try on the far side. Lindbergh in the net, dug out, back over. Free ball, Anoka to set up. Masnaguda! The change of pace. running to the net like he's going to hammer it. Then the soft little tip drops it in the middle. Nice touch.
Yeah, he pulled the string on that shot. Certainly, they needed. That is Anoka to stop that run that Blaine was on.
12-9 Tornadoes. Get that lead back up to 3, up 2 sets to 1. B serving. Brower, they go to Larson. Dug out, but it's 10 rows up. Off the arms of Chewy Vang. Kill again by Larson. Anders Larson's been impressive here tonight. He's a junior. They'll be back next year ready to serve.
Yeah, he's dialed up a couple of late kills here.
And he's got it. Anders Larson, ace.
He unleashed that one. Snapped that off. Good follow through. Stayed on top of it and right down the line.
He's got his Bengals within 1. He'll do it again, but that's in the net. Seems like he was feeling pretty confident. I want to say those last 2 serves, he was tossing that ball higher than he had been earlier.
He was
in the match.
You're absolutely right.
And
he was.
Drove that. You get more momentum, you get more chance. He got that ace on the first one, second one in the net. And now the Tornadoes serving up by 2, 13-11. Brower. Tornadoes will go to Masanguda. Cross court, and it's in. Point Tornadoes. Right in the near side corner.
Tight one there as linesman had to move as well. Called that in, and now the 3-point lead. Anoka needs a run here.
14-11 Tornadoes. Back set, Larson. Block back at him, out of bounds. That's a kill for Anders Larson. We have called his name a lot here in tonight's match. 14-12, Anoka leading, Blaine serving.
Yeah, and you know what? I said Anoka needs that run because you can tell the juice here, the energy, kind of slipping to Blaine's side right now.
Back set. Lindbergh blocked back at him, but the Tornadoes find the back row, and Larson finds the ball. He got a hand on it, but it falls in.
Well, they needed to get another run at a serve here. Critical that they could get a point.
15-12 Tornadoes. Skylar Lohr into serve.
You can tell that shift of momentum.
Lohr had the save of the game earlier here in this set.
Oh, yes.
Now serving. Larson, back row, missed. Just missed. Beyond the end line. 16-12 Tornadoes.
Just impressed by the runs these teams go on. And you can just tell just a little shift in what's happening here in the play, and Anoka has a chance.
Lohr, Vang to Yang, up high, Brower, and it's rejected and blocked back. Joshua Londa Sassa, but it stays on the Anoka side, so the side out here to the Bengals. Close play at the net, but it stayed on the Anoka side.
Yeah, Brower answers as well here from the near side.
Yang jump serve, serving 13-16. Couple of scrambles, it's up and over. Setting it up, Yang. Back set, Brower. It's down. Bengals point within 2.
We're on the near side. They just set it up. It's a strong 1-2 punch. If it isn't Brower, it's Anders Larson.
Getting into their attack. And Londa Sassa across off a hand and down.
They'll take that miss hit every time with those results.
And he's laughing. He's smiling. Got a big smile. A good miss, we call that in golf. And you can say the same thing about volleyball. It's a good miss. Anoka back with the serve. 17-14. Masanguda. And that's an ace. That one coming in at you. You got to have your arms at the perfect position, and that one just off. For Anders Larson, it goes into his bench. 18-14 Anoka.
Yeah, he's trying to hit it away from anyone that is not Vang here. They've had trouble returning it. Vang is a master.
Masanguda. This one's in the net. That'll side it out. Brower serving Bengals 15-18. Brower scrambling Vang. Wonderful job steering it in the middle to Masanguda. Overhand dig at the net. Does it go over? That was inside the antennas. I thought it may have been outside. Close play. And then down the far line, just missed. Oh, and Trutwin had an opening right down that far court line, but it missed. Point Bengals. Couple of close plays on that return.
I couldn't tell who made that play for Blaine, but it was a game saver, it was a point saver.
How he got from that angle in between the antennas, that was really close. Bengals serving again. In the middle. Lean's going to have to tip it over. And they're able to scramble and get a point as it falls down on the Bengals side. 19-16, Anoka. Vang serving.
It's getting into that positioning part of this particular set in the match here. They can get to 20 for Anoka.
Vang, Larson to Yang. Want to go back to Larson. Went over on 2. Bengals set back up. Zhang over on 2 again. Here's Lohr's set. Back set. Londa Sassa. And it's a point, Anoka. Joshua Londa Sassa getting it done at the net.
Good job. Yeah, he hasn't had much success at the net, but got it just enough. Got the interference to block on the Blaine side.
Vang serving. To Vang, to Yang, to Larson. Block. Bengals scramble. It's over. Right back over. What a play by Youngquist, who sent it over off the block. He read the play. He saw that all the Bengals were at the attack line or inside, and he said, boy, if I can push this one deep, there's no way they're going to get it. That was a great play by Noah Youngquist. Point Anoka. Timeout Bengals. 21-16 Tornadoes.
Yeah, you know, with that much adrenaline also, when you make impact with that ball, it's tough to keep it in bounds, but it's so well placed, almost to that corner away from any of the Blaine Bengals. And right now, that point, I think it probably gives the Anoka a pretty good win probability.
Yeah, you're into the sabermetrics and the win probability. 21-16 is the score. You get, when you're the first team to 20 and you have a 4 or 5 point lead, if you can keep things going and not give up a long run for the other team, you're in a good spot.
Let's see how Blaine responds coming out of this timeout. In fact, they've had some good success after the timeouts. Has Blaine.
Chewy Vang ready to serve. And he hits it. Bengals misplayed that one on the back row.
I may have just cursed Blaine with that comment, but that's the opposite of what we've seen from Blaine after their timeouts.
22-16. Tornadoes 3 away from winning the match. To Vang. Back set Yang over Zhang. Set here by Lohr. Oh, and oh my goodness. Mas Naguda. Now credit the libero Vang for even getting an arm on that, but that went up and hit the backboard and came down so fast there was no way he could respond.
Unleashing the Mas Nugata. Oh, did that have?
23-16, and unfortunately here for Anoka, Vang in the net. That gives Blaine a little hope here, but they're serving 17-23, and they need a run with A.J. Racek back to serve.
You mentioned that ball just launches off his hand on the serve for Racek.
Here it is, overhand pass up to the net by Trutwin. Tipped over Youngquist, dug out, but down on the Blaine side, and it's match point. 24-17 Anoka.
Who is going to get the opportunity for the game or the match-winning serve here?
Hank Anderson.
You got to think it was going to be Hank.
(24-17) match point. Overhand pass head by Brower at the net, up high, block back at the Bengals. Cross court, Larson still kept alive, over that push again, hit the line. It is in by Youngquist. He did that twice here late in the fourth set. Wonderful job by Youngquist, and it's a win for Anoka. 25-17, they win the match 3-1.
Wow, how resilient. Really both teams, but coming back and winning by their largest margin here in that fourth set, 25-17. And just the whole team involved on that fourth set. Some great plays.
Yeah, good match tonight. The first two sets were as close as you can get. 26-24, 25-23 Anoka. And then Blaine came back and won 25-20, but in the fourth and final, not quite deciding set, we didn't go to a fifth, but in the fourth, it was 25-18 in favor of Anoka, and the Tornadoes now their 10th win of the season here, 10-1, stay undefeated in the Northwest Suburban, 7-0. They're at Prairie Seeds Academy on Thursday. Monday they host Rogers, and for the Bengals they fall to 7-4, 4-2 in the conference. They're at Rogers on Wednesday. They host the alma mater. Sam Christopherson will face his old Osseo Orioles and host them at Blaine High School on Monday, April 28th. For our entire crew, our cameramen here, our staff back at the studios in Champlin, along with Joe Rulin, I'm Jim Erickson. Again, it's an Anoka boys volleyball victory here tonight, 26-24, 25-23, 20-25, and 25-17. They win it in 4 from Anoka High School. For Joe Rulin, I'm Jim Erickson. Good night, everybody.